Wow. Talk about a curveball. General Mark Milley, the guy who was chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under both Trump and Biden,
Right.
just had his security detail and clearance revoked.
It's certainly not every day we see something like this.
Right.
This goes way beyond typical procedures, especially given Milley's position and the fact that he served across 2 administrations.
It's pretty wild. So in this deep dive, we're going to try to understand why this is happening. What's the story behind this decision? What does it say about how things are going in Washington right now? And what could happen next? We're going to dig into all of that. You probably saw the headlines, but we're going beyond the surface here.
Absolutely. It's important to understand not just what happened, but the why behind it. And that requires looking at the bigger picture.
Okay, so first things first, let's break down what we know. The order to revoke Milley's security detail and suspend his clearance came directly from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
And those are not small potatoes.
Right.
A security detail is essentially a team of trained personnel responsible for the safety of high-profile individuals like Milley. Revoking it suggests a serious concern for his potential actions.
Right.
The security clearance, of course, allows access to classified information.
So
suspending it cuts off that access, indicating a lack of trust.
Hegseth basically said he made this decision to restore accountability and to make sure the chain of command isn't undermined.
Right.
But what does that really mean?
Well, those phrases have a lot of weight behind them, especially in a military context. When we talk about undermining the chain of command, it implies that someone has bypassed the established hierarchy of authority. The idea that orders flow down and everyone knows their place.
Right.
Hegseth seems to believe Milley stepped out of line, and restoring accountability suggests he felt Milley hadn't faced consequences for his actions.
And we know Milley had some pretty controversial moments, particularly during the Trump years. I mean, there was that whole photo op at St. John's Church.
Right.
After the clearing of protesters.
Right. That incident definitely raised eyebrows. Milley did apologize later for being there.
Right.
But it raised questions about his judgment, his proximity to the president, and whether he was getting too involved in things that might be seen as political.
Then there were those phone calls with the Chinese general, Li Zucheng, just as Trump's presidency was ending.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big story.
Those calls were definitely out of the ordinary. To put it in context for you, General Li Zucheng was China's top military officer at the time. Milley reportedly reassured him that the U.S. had no intention of attacking China, even promising to warn him if anything changed.
Wow.
Now, while this sounds like a good thing, preventing a potential war, doing it without the president's knowledge directly